All right, so what's going on in the world of coffee?
Yo, dude, what's going down? Actually, there's probably a few things. You know what's funny? Not
What?
funny. You got stuff too?
No. You go first. I am going to pull some stuff up because I do have.
We both have stuff, it sounds like.
Oh, no.
No, this is simple. It's like, Reese's all, wait a second. He texted me yesterday and he's like, is there any reference to Allen Iverson and Paul Pierce because of the truth in the answer? And
yeah, he texted me that too. I didn't text him back.
And I was like,
Iverson,
yeah, man,
yes.
there's like
Pierce, no.
multiple layers to that. And he's all, do people know that? And I'm like, I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's probably worth like a revisit for those who didn't know. Like, there's multiple levels to the answer, the name, the answer, and the truth. And I shared with him that I played basketball in high school and a little bit in college, but I was like, yeah, I had a crossover and people called me White Iverson. So, and I studied Iverson's game for a long time. And then both Chris and I love basketball and have always loved basketball. That's where like the basketball roots come from, the name 1-and-1. Like that's what happens when you shoot a free throw. Like there's all sorts of like hidden layers to this stuff. And he's like, man, that'd be just, do the locals know that? Do the local Warriors know about that stuff? Like, and I'm like, no, man, the G League Warriors, like we don't talk about that all the time, but there was like the answer's supposed to be. And it almost feels like we have talked about this so many times, but at the same time, if he didn't know that.
I think repetition is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, I mean, I don't want to take over the whole story, but at the end of the day, yeah, the answer, we were trying to come up with a coffee that was always the answer if you didn't know what to pick. It was the safe and exciting coffee that would work anywhere you wanted. And if you walked into a cafe of ours and you were like, man, that I don't know which whole bean to pick, oh, that one's called the answer, I should probably pick that because I have a question. And we had all these supporting layers. We had the flavors, we had that and the other. And then, yes, the basketball part was also really fun and kind of in the background because we both enjoyed basketball.
First time Jared emailed me, he had a White Ivy was part of his email address.
That was my
White
email.
Iverson.
Yep.
Before the song dropped. Before the song dropped.
Yeah, we're talking like whenever
like
AOL was.
vibe.
It was Hotmail,
Yeah,
AOL. Like I was always White Ivy.
Full Hotmail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going to Thanksgiving dinner and I don't know what coffee to bring for everybody. Oh, the answer. I'm going to get coffee for my uncle. I don't know what he likes. The answer.
Yeah.
I got to buy it's the answer is what you want. If you don't know what you want, it's the answer. And so, yeah, familiar enough to be comforting, but interesting enough to catch your attention to where you can tell it feels comfortable, but you're like, oh, also there's something different about this.
Yeah.
This is good. This is like what I've had before, but better.
We take it up a notch.
There's another level here that I never experienced.
I mean, he's like only 6'1", but somehow he can get up. What up with this? How come you keep twisting it? I mean, and then there's the other part, which speaking of emails, the truth was one of your
was
emails.
Part of my email, yeah. And the truth was a combination of that. It just like had that word history where there's this really fucking funny. There was this ridiculous show called Crank Yankers that was on Comedy Central where they had puppets do crank calls. They call actual places. And there was one where David Allen Greer calls a sporting goods store, and the title of the episode is called The Truth, or The Truth Calls something or other.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's the best, yeah.
Yeah. And the truth with coffee was always supposed to be, okay, what are we really enjoying that we don't have to make an excuse about or change in order? It doesn't need to be anything in particular. It can just be like a pure expression of what's going on in coffee. So the truth could be a single origin espresso, but it also opened the door for us to do single origin style espresso, but with a blend.
Mm-hmm.
So, usually you'll have a milk-based espresso where the roast is a little bit more developed or darker. The yield is a little bit lower. It's something that, combines with milk to make something really chocolatey and fruity, pretty standard stuff, like delicious.
Pretty standard buttery stuff.
Something that everybody's going to like, i.e. the answer.
Right.
And then with single origins, people feel like they can explore a little bit. Like, oh, so you have roasts that are still developed. And I say developed, and all of our coffees are really well developed. So when I say more development, I'm not saying better developed. I'm just saying taken deeper into that
than a
development
normal
phase.
filter roast
Right.
by proxy.
So you got single origin espressos that are generally a little bit lighter. The yield is a little bit bigger, so you get these more voluminous shots that are more, I don't know, they hit in a different way.
Yeah, sippable, little, just layered differently.
So we're like, what if you, like, sometimes that's awesome. Also, what if you wanted to have a shot like that, but it wasn't necessarily a single origin? What if we had two coffees that we wanted to blend together like that, still pull that SO type shot, but have it be a blend?
Right.
Can we do that? Yeah, because that's what we want to do, because that's the fucking truth right now.
Right,
That's what's
that's-
happening.
that's our truth.
That's what's going on.
Right.
So that's where the names came from.
It totally, yeah. So there's your kind of your Lupin, and I do remember that there. I was like Lupin, like Harry Potter, Lupin. Anyway,
Lupin.
I remember thinking, I mean, in part of our conversations too, were how people would get these special coffees at, well, not people, barely anybody would get these special coffees at competition, and they were always pulled more closely to the range and the volume that we pull our shots now, but they were singles. So there was always these split singles. And so for us to be able to replicate the style of coffee that you would make at a competition and serve it in our cafes without serving singles, we had to be able to find our way there. And again, the truth was like another avenue to be able to share the style of coffee that you would get in a barista competition when you typically can't get it anywhere else. And so we have that. Anyway, there's your whole loop in. Reezy, shout out. You asked the question. Reezy resells. He's got a couple followers
He's kind
on
of a famous guy.
YouTube and
I
stuff.
say, oh no, whenever he asks a question, because you never know. You never know where it's
Wild
gonna
card,
go.
baby.
It could be anything, dude.
So anyways, yeah, we've addressed that for you, world. And yeah, G League Warriors, if you need to sponsor us, that's totally chill. We're pretty into basketball.
Could be fine.
So hey, let's talk about the questions.
I had another question for you.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Yeah.
then never mind. Let's go there.
It just kind of popped up. We can get to the questions too.
Pop it up, dude. Does it have to do with the pop up?
It does have to do with the pop-up. So we had a pop-up last week now.
We did.
Double pop-up day. Alex Mars in the morning. with
Papa's
Donuts.
Yeah.
Amazing brioche style cream-filled custard-filled donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
If you ever had a General Porpoise donut, we're talking
So
like
good.
somewhere along a similar track.
I was legit impressed by his donuts because he's always,
Was that your first donut from him?
yeah.
Oh, so you had waited.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you know he cooks and you know,
Yeah.
he's into food and stuff. But
No,
sometimes
they're good.
people are like, "Oh, I'm really into this thing," and they make it for you, and you're like, "Oh, well,
Yeah. That's good.
don't quit your day job, bro.
Basic
Have a good
pasta.
time. Like, good
Thanks
stuff."
Thanks for the ragu.
These are actual, I would spend probably $6 on one, honestly, and not be bummed. I'd be
Yeah.
like, this is awesome.
They're not small.
No, they're not small. They're legit.
Chocked full of flavor.
That happened in the morning, and Jared made Nashville-style fried chicken sandwiches in the afternoon.
It's true.
Both sold out, both blowout, both great day.
Yeah.
So this is the question I have for you. One, what did it feel like?
Man. Well, there's a lot going on in my life. It felt a little surreal. I mean, I was just manning, right, frying the chicken, and it felt, I still don't know how it felt. It's really weird. It's like I did a thing. The way I think about this stuff is like, okay, I did a thing. I've got a proof of concept. I got amazing feedback. I got people saying, like Levi, he walked in and he goes, "Hey, feedback for you." And Levi's one of our team leaders. He runs a couple stores. He's pretty critical, kind of like you, right, of stuff.
He's a straight shooter.
Straight shooter. Walks in, "Hey, feedback for you." And I was like, I wonder what he's going to say. He goes, "I had really, really high expectations, and you blew them out of the water. And I'm getting another one right now." I'm like, okay, that's rad. And then my friend Barbara, who had actually just not too long ago been to Nashville and over there, she's like, "Your chicken sandwich was better than Hattie B's for sure." And so I'm sitting here with that, feeling pretty good. And then at the same time, I'm like, man, what do you do with that? Because I don't have the energy to run one of those, at least right in this moment. And so I'm just kind of like, I guess I'm living in this weird world where I was also pretty critical. I was being hyper vigilant, and I found out like halfway through the day that my thermometer wasn't accurate. So I like learned a bunch of shit, and I sent out a couple of like undercooks, which I felt super bad about because I was like, when you think you're doing it all right, and then you find out it's not
Not like
working,
you're
you're like,
not testing. You just
totally.
have a
I was
full
like,
team.
fuck. So I mean, there's that, and that's just kind of hanging over my head because I didn't bat 1,000. End of the day, pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
About it, the flavors, like the spice level was too spicy for some, spicy enough for others, and like not overwhelming for those who love spice, but then the not spicy was right in the zone to like just like a little bit of spice for those who have like no tolerance for it. So I guess what I'm saying is like I feel like I got something that I don't know how to really share with the world, because at the end of the day I kind of feel like now I'm like a chefy person where I need to find a way to create a space, which we might have an ability to do, teach some people to do it, and then launch it, and like maybe we have another business.
Yeah.
So that's the weird part.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's,
Like what do I do with this?
yeah.
now?
This is what we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of the things that like people ask me all the time, or not even ask me, like one of the things that comes up when I'm talking to other businesses all the time, business owners, is here's my life story. I have this thing that I'm really, really passionate about. I work on it. Then I get really, really good at it.
Right.
And then I open it, and that becomes my business.
Yeah.
And now, because of all the things that exist and struggles and challenges that come with owning a business, that thing isn't as fun as I really want it to be. It
Right.
doesn't fill me up in the way that it used to when I was just doing it. So I find these other things that I just do, and then I practice them and I get really, really good at them. And
Right.
then I share them, and then I'm kind of right back where I started.
Right.
Or, like one of our friends who owns a business has found so much joy in participating in things in their community. Like
Right.
they should probably run for some sort of office where they live, because they're just so passionate about community engagement, and it turns into this struggle versus like I want to focus on the thing that I've committed to building and is working. I also want to do new things and explore and just like have these little, like, what would life feel like if every day was a pop-up like that? Like, it's so stressful to do the pop-up because there's no system for it, but like to share something with no strings attached, like it can just be whatever you want it to be.
That part is, that is intriguing. Like the thing that I've realized through the process, I think, of opening or doing it, right, is that, and we've talked about this kind of like our personal mission, like I really do genuinely like to create the ability to share an experience and provide opportunity for other people. So the perfect world of this would be that I would help, with a core group, right? I would figure out and obviously share this so that the people feel like they help make it with me, whoever these people would be. I'd take these recipes that are apparently now tried, true, proven, delicious, briefly, barely expand upon them, add a vegetarian option, set the space, and then hopefully provide, like, quoting Marisol, Andre's wife, she's like, I'm borderline mad at you. You could be famous for these. You need to open a restaurant. And so like my passion isn't opening the restaurant, but it's creating the space for the experience and walking through that and empowering somebody's to be able to have, I think, like what could be a rad job serving something that could make them kind of famous and well known and provide them opportunity. So to me, like that is like inspiring and rad and amazing and totally available. Like everybody needs a job at some point, and this is not going to be, it's like I don't know how, I haven't been to Howlin' Ray's, I think is what it's called, in LA. But they're hyper famous, and their line is like energy, and everybody comes 3-hour waits for this stuff, and that happens across the United States. And I feel like I have that, and I want to gift that to somebody else. I don't want to be, and never have been, the person just because I am too ADD out to be in a kitchen all day. I'm too ADD out to be a barista all day anymore. Like I have too many things in my mind, and cares about people in our company too to like work with, that I would love to set them all up for success, to consistently pass on this theoretical legacy that we could have, that we are doing at Cat and Cloud, right? So that's like I guess that's my passion with it, and why it's weird, because I'm like, okay, we can do this. Who really would want to be this person that I could trust to own this project with us? And then we could just go about making it happen. Like I believe making it happen is, I just feel like we're good at that.
Yeah.
We're good at it. If there was a building like this and it was like, cool, make a hot chicken pop-up, make a hot chicken company, make hot or not happen here. Great. I know the generally the amount of people. I could figure out with the people where to source the shit. I could figure out how to get everything. We could replicate it. Doing it properly isn't terribly hard. We could find all the systems to make sure it's always cooked properly. It doesn't have to feel like fast food. It can feel clean, good, amazing. And you could walk into places that we like to go visit, and we could have one of those again. And that's kind of what I'd like to do. And then life is just kind of surrounding that. So I'm in a current spot where I'm in an overwhelmed state where I honestly wish I could feel more psyched about it. And at the same time, I know it was a good success and it tasted fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for sure.
That's like my big share.
I think, yeah. It was cool to see you do it because I've been bugging the shit out of you for like months and months and months and months and months.
I just had to commit to
it. Do it. Just do it.
Probably picked the gnarliest week of my life to do it, but I like of all the weeks to do it, it was probably the worst one I could have ever done it, but I pulled it off. And that was cool. Thank you, Nicole, my wife Brittany for cutting slaw, Herman for being in there, Hannah, who's like was just like a ball of life and fire in that kitchen. Thank you to all y'all for the help. So
it's a good day.
It was a good day.
Super good day. Yeah.
Kind of a blur, but it was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's important to do things like that, whether or not you're going to turn it into a business, and like which we could do.
Yeah, whether we do or don't.
I think those
in the pocket.
Yeah, those kinds of things are super important. Having that space to just be creative and express yourself in ways that you don't normally.
Yeah,
like.
And that's absolutely it. Like I am fully starting to commit to expressing myself in ways like that and just starting to explore them because that's like a share your gifts opportunity for anybody. And they don't always have to pick up on it and love it. And in this case, I mean, aside from a few of the ones that I sent out that were under, which is such a bummer, and we refunded them and gave them the love. But like, I think I batted near 1,000 flavor-wise for everybody who ate those sandwiches.
Yeah,
like, dude, somebody ate 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I ate 1.5.
Yeah.
Just because the one Jenny got was a fucking honker.
I know.
Some of those pieces of chicken.
That was the other thing, dude.
Just randomly so
the way
big.
I had to source them, it was like so gnarly.
I was like, that's the biggest piece of chicken I've ever fucking seen. I
was like, dude, I know, bro.
She's all, this is really good, but I can't even, I don't have room.
It's like a pound of chicken on this sandwich.
Damn. I was like, no problem, I'll eat it.
Dude, and I thought I was going to like not have enough, and I still had like 40 or 50 portions of just chicken, but I was out of everything else. So I was like, I'm done. We're good. We sold out of everything. Like, I'm not going to make fried chicken patties to send out to people anymore.
I'm proud of you, dude. I think it's awesome. And it was like kind of inspirational. Not kind of, it was definitely inspirational because I think, like where we had been in the past couple years, like work has always been a little strange for me because I feel like in some ways work takes your creativity and it has the potential to like squash it, and then you exist in this space where you just do what you do, and that's what it is. So I've always done little side project-y things,
right?
And like this,
right,
or whatever, But looking back on it now, like I was trying to find my own little space of autonomy. Like if I was going to do stuff like that again, I would totally do it through Cat and Cloud,
totally
like integrate it with the situation because it'd be way more powerful. And it's also part of me holding me back is just thinking that these things need to be separate, that for my voice to be heard, it needs to be in a space all by itself. Just because work isn't all about me, like there's aspects of, for each of us, like me, you, and Charles, we all have our stamp, like we are Cat and Cloud, like right, we created this thing from nothing. And Cat and Cloud encompasses aspects of all of our personalities. Meanwhile, Cat and Cloud isn't singularly Jared or singularly me. So there's some aspects of my personality that don't fit in there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I can't express myself using that. And then by doing that, it actually benefits everybody because when you create projects like that and do them, like the people around you get to see your spirit. They get to be energized by that in a different way, and then they affect people. I don't know, like when you can use what you've built as a conduit for the things that are really passionate about to you, like even if it feels like it's just one-sided, it becomes so infectious that everybody benefits
And
from
you're
it.
still sharing our mission
And
through the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 And I think that was a cool thing.
That's cool.
Thing to notice. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like there is a space for my creativity, because I always felt like before it's like part of me wanted a space, and then part of me feels like selfish. Like, oh, I'm using Cat and Cloud to do this thing that I really want to do.
Right.
Not really realizing that the goal of all these things at the end of the day is going to benefit way more
brings
people.
in everybody.
And it brings people together.
I mean, I kind of imagine that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you or anybody got into kind of a niche via social media, well, actually, maybe it's this way. The world paints it as like, be a professional in a lane and be hyper specific in your, whether it's a niche or a thing. Don't be super broad. And I wonder if sometimes that can keep people, whether it's you or not, I'm not actually talking about you in this case, from thinking like you're thinking now, which is actually, just because this business looks and has felt like this doesn't mean it can't be all of these other things as well. And it keeps them from being like, no, that can't work because this is fried chicken. Like, you're a coffee company.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that holds a lot of people back, where they're like, no, I actually have to start another company. And for me, I'm like, no, it would just be Hot or Not by Cat and Cloud. It wouldn't be like a different company.
Or it can just be Hot or Not, that is owned by the same group.
Yeah, exactly. Like the conglomerate. Like, we're bigger. It's exactly what you said. We're bigger than me. We're bigger than you. We're bigger than coffee. We're as big as our creativity and people and ideas can allow us to be, wherever that is.
No, I think that's huge, and I think the like tying back to the mission of it is where it makes the most sense,
right?
Because there's a million ways to do that one thing that you're trying to do. If we're saying,
awesome,
okay,
right?
cool, our mission, inspire connection by creating memorable experiences. Yeah, like all of the things that I've done, they fit neatly into, which is crazy because I did, like the group thread thing, I did that before
it was actualized.
Before we had the words to really be able to express our mission in the way that felt like natural to us.
Totally.
So,
but we were like totally knew what we were supposed to do.
We knew what we were supposed to do, but now that language clarity is super helpful.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh yes, this absolutely makes sense. Right? In the same way that it no longer feels weird to host a fried chicken pop-up at a coffee store, because what are we trying to do? Like, we're trying to create this experience, and mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Everyone came in and it's like, that was fucking sick, bro. Like, not only was it hella good, but it was just awesome. Like, the energy was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the intangibles of the whole situation. You and Alex are both in the kitchen. You both had the Cat and Cloud button-up shirt on, right, with the apron. So you got one of the owners and one of our longest standing employees. Alex has been with us since day one, and you see him working in the kitchen. They're running out to the floor, interacting with people. Mark and I jumped on bar.
Right.
It's just like the whole ball of energy was just fucking nuts.
Right. And then it brings people from, all over. You're getting these messages of people who like our coffee, but came for this thing and then got their faces blown off. It's so cool. I hear a bunch of people from Portola reached out and they're like, dude, those sandwiches, and I went by the day, it's so good. And I'm like, oh, did y'all come through? And they're like, no, Eli came through and picked up a bunch of sandwiches for everybody.
Pro move.
And which is like, yeah, shout out, Eli. Thank you for doing that, just because it was really pro move and really cool to take care of your squad. And then on the flip, how rad is it that they were that good even after sitting in their slaw? Like, definitely not as crispy, definitely a little soggy. Like, same with me, Herman's partner. She was like, she had fully one that was like 40 minutes off because he finished their day and then like cleaned up with me and pieced out and went home. And it's like, they're all hitting me back with like, those were some of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had. And I've had, a couple people, I've had chicken sandwiches all over America, and that was easily like one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a cool compliment. Weirdly too, I think people overcomplicate how they make chicken. Not saying that I didn't make. There's a lot of intention, and there's some specific things you can do to make your stuff just really, really good without putting too much work into it. And man,
fucking welcome to everything.
I know.
Have you
dude.
ever seen
Keep
a barista?
It simple, dude. Our values. It's like,
have you ever
wow.
Have you ever talked to someone about making coffee? What is wrong with people, bro?
Yeah.
Like, people are out of their minds.
Dude,
And then
rest,
I do this, and then
seasoning,
I do that, and then
simple.
yeah.
Like, the slaw is like 6 ingredients. The chicken dredge is 6, 7 ingredients. Like, the oil is 3. I mean, if you count every different pepper as a different ingredient, sure, more, but like basically 3, 4, and 5 ingredients tops. Like, we're talking like in total 15 ingredients to make something that people are like, this is one of the best things I've ever eaten. And that's a cool statement. I would like to share more of that stuff with people. But again, I'm not, whether it's going to work or not, I'm not the person to stand back there and make it as my full-time job.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be me, and it never really has been me. So cool to know, and I think that's great. Like, I think that allows somebody to step in who has maybe a bigger aspiration one day than theoretically maybe like the best chicken sandwich on the West Coast, we'd love to say, and they become the person who is known for like putting those out, and then they get their better job, and somebody else steps into that, and we provide a in and out sort of salary
That's what I was
job.
gonna say. I was
like,
saying
why not?
you could run like an in and out version of chicken sandwich.
I think you could.
Where they have a base menu that's basically 3 different meals.
Right. With
and
a couple
then
fun secret
you have
tweaks.
a little secret things like,
Yep.
oh, I want the extra chilies
Yeah.
or this, or
you can drop your ghost pepper on top,
animal
which
style,
only one
whatever.
person got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've got what tweaks, what fun things I would add. Like, it's all there. That's what's weird, is it's all kind of there. So anyways, I guess maybe we get an SBA loan and find somebody, like 2 people who really want to run some shit and learn how to do culture, and like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the world is ready.
Yeah.
The world is there.
And then no
It
rush, too.
could be as simple as like, okay, the next cafe we open isn't a cafe at all.
Right.
So we have these 4 cafes, and now we're opening
Hot or not.
Hot or Not.
Right.
It could be literally that easy.
It could be that. Yeah. Totally. And then it's like, whoa, okay, great.
And it's not.
You want to cross-train and learn some stuff? You get to go work at Hot or Not for a month, and then you can come back and be a barista again and like
there's
really
people
explore your
who
world.
Will be excited to do that.
I know that that's the spice of life that would and could have kept me really motivated through a lot of the time where I would feel kind of burnt out or stagnant. It's just I would have eaten up going and like being able to stay with my company, but do something else for a little while, knowing I didn't have to stay. And just know that, cool, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to do this new thing. I'm going to build some camaraderie with some rad new people. And then I'm going to come away with a new skill set. And I'm going to be overall kind of like a better person for it at the end of the day. And that's pretty, I think that's the stuff that gets us juiced, right? It's not the thing itself. It's the thing that happens because of the thing.
Yes.
That's the shit.
Everything is
Where you at?
Everything is a conduit for something
Yeah.
else.
It feels good to have broken the ice on some of those things. And I guess we've just kind of been in a consistent evolution that's been all sorts of stuff for the last, I guess, year and a half, whatever, call it almost 2. And man, it's been a challenge. And at the same time, you have to come awake to that stuff as you go through it. And yeah, I mean, Papa's Donuts, man. What else did that prove? We got an opportunity, not we, like Alex is going to go kill it in New Orleans and do their thing. But at the same time, there is a wide open space for some creativity in this town. And there always has been, but it's like so wide open.
Fuck. Yes, dude. Like, why is the best food in Santa Cruz at a pop-up at the coffee shop made by people who already have full-time jobs who work at the fucking coffee shop?
That's
it
Patreon.
Makes no sense. It's totally insane. Like, what?
best donuts,
There's like
the best
full-blown restaurants who all they do is do this thing, yet somehow the weekend warriors of us are just crushing it. Like,
the non-pros at this job.
And yes, I'm biased, but I would be 100% real, and I would tell you before you even did the pop-up.
Oh, yeah, you would have said, don't do it.
Bro, you need to work on this fucking sandwich to get your weight up before you really roll this thing out. Like, and it's just weird to me.
Yeah, dude, I agree.
It just doesn't feel right.
I'm like, what are we doing out here?
I mean, part of it's Santa Cruz. part of it
You would
is,
think, but then I go to other towns and part of it's them too.
I mean,
But you're right. There's always a couple gems.
it's the culture. Like this is the culture that we live in, and
It doesn't have to be.
right. But
It is,
yeah,
though.
I agree with
No,
you.
I know.
But then it's like
I can't change it.
culture ebbs and flows with the people who like interact
Invest
with
in it,
right?
yeah.
So if everybody just wants a chill out burrito, then everybody's just gonna get a chill out burrito.
Right.
If no
And
one,
there's a place for that. But that's
I'm
only
not,
one
I'm
spot,
not saying
right?
there's not. I
Yeah,
mean, I
yeah.
ate chill out burritos for
Yeah.
fucking years,
Awesome,
dude.
yeah.
I was a daily driver.
Right.
Chill out burritos. Like,
Yeah. And those
like,
places are great for cultures
yeah,
too.
I'm not saying I
Yeah.
don't love a burrito shack.
I
Like,
don't,
burrito
no, I
shack's
totally do.
great.
Yeah.
Like, but at some point, I'm just want a little bit more, and it doesn't even have to be fancy.
No.
It just has to be intentional. It just has to have a vibe.
some
It just
soul.
has to have a feeling.
Like a proper
soul is the great way to put it, and I just want that because most places I go here feel just completely dead. Like
They're all just copies of
there's
the
a
other
complete
one.
lack of creativity that's going on, and
Yeah.
I see certain business owners that now you're in this group of business owners, so you can't talk about
Look at
other
us.
business.
Yeah.
Well, you can't talk about other business owners.
No, I know. I'm just
like you
saying,
feel like
like,
you have to
oh, we're a
support
business
everybody
owner.
in town,
Sure.
right? It's like I couldn't say something about X business over
Sure.
here that I had really high expectations for because of another thing that they did, and then they opened this new thing, and I'm like, this is just incredibly normal and so boring. Like, why did you do this? It
Right.
seems so underneath your pay grade. I'm really disappointed. And
Yeah.
I want to talk to them about it. I want, like, that's the problem where I'm like, bro, hey, this thing you opened? It's kind of underneath your level. It kind of sucks, honestly.
Yeah.
You could do better, and that's what makes me mad.
Yeah, I think that's my problem too. Is it's like it feels like people opened, and the whole point of this conversation, I guess, is you're creating something with soul and culture and care and intention, and that reflects something that matters. And it just feels like people open businesses to make money. Like it's just. I'm gonna open another one because I can make more money then.
You know what the best part about being a business owner is?
I don't know. Tell me.
You don't have to take any other business owner's bullshit.
Right.
Like before you're a business owner and you're like, oh, you should do this, you could do that, you could do this, you could do that. And then people are like, you don't know how hard it is. You don't know. And I'm like, I actually know exactly how fucking hard it is now. Like,
It's not very chill, dude.
turns out I live that life. And I also know that it can be really rewarding and you can still do it in a way that has substance and soul and feeling and emotion behind it. If you're going to spend all of your time and energy building this thing, it should be something that you're proud of. It should be something that's inspired, because no matter, like, if you sweat the details, make it feel special, create an experience, it's not going to take any more or less time than if you just simply make it exist. Like, the time and the stress input comes in different ways. Like, you can either do it half-ass and feel like, oh, I'm kind of cashing it in because I don't have to be there every day all the time in the beginning to make it work. But because it never gets to a certain clip, I'm perpetually the person that's fixing emergencies.
Right.
I have to keep jumping in and doing things that are way below my skill and inspiration level because I haven't properly set up a system that brings people in and empowers them to do it. And I'm just going to complain about how I can't find people. And it's really, you can't find people because your business is not inspiring at all. And people have opportunities to work with people that are. Like, if I can work with someone who's incredibly inspired, yes, I want to do that. So it's not that kids suck or that people don't want to work hard. It's that you don't build a place that people want to do good work for, because it doesn't fucking mean anything to them.
Yeah.
So while it seems like you're cashing it in and living the easy life, you're actually making it way more hard on yourself
For the long play.
For the long haul.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go in with intentionality and you go in with a lot of that inspiration and passion, you're gonna do a ton of work up front, and it's not gonna feel easy. But eventually, someday, you're gonna live in this world where people care about the thing that you've made other than you, and people want to do good work in it for that thing that you've helped create.
Not for you,
not
for
just
the
for you,
thing,
because
for themselves.
the thing for themselves, for the whole ecosystem. So I'm like, if you're gonna spend 40 hours, 80 hours, however many hours a week you spend working anyway, just make it fucking count.
Right.
Do it the right way.
Do it totally
to the best of your ability.
Lean into your people and help them to see. No, and it won't be perfect. And you have to consistently grow through the process, but you also exactly to your point, you can find those people who are willing to do that journey with you if you are willing to do that work you're talking about. And when those people come along, don't ignore them and trust them to make those mistakes with you so you can make it happen. And then there's more to your world, and there's more fun and more enjoyment and more pride, the good kind of pride too, not the kind of pride where it's all mine and I only, the kind of pride where you're like, damn, I'm so psyched on this thing that we created. Thank you, whoever these people are.
It's just ownership. I'm sick of this victim mentality from business owners.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Get the fucking work. Jesus. Oh, it's so much. Like, yeah, there's a certain amount of the world that's out of your control. Welcome to
so much of the world.
Welcome
out of
to
our control.
existing. Thank
it's
you.
So not
yes,
fair.
You're here. Things will happen to you. It's not gonna feel good.
It's just not.
I'm gonna cry. Thanks for listening, y'all. This podcast is an extension of our mission to inspire connection by creating memorable experiences. If you want to get more acquainted with what we do, you can go on over to catandcloud.com. There you'll find a little bit of everything. If you want coffee, we got coffee there. If you want to be directed to some other magic media, basically it's your hub for all things Cat and Cloud. If you want to dive in on a deeper level, we do have a Patreon. It's $5 a month, about the price of a latte each month. You get a peek behind the scenes of what we do here, unpacking some of the ideas that we talk about during this podcast, rants and raves, Q&As, Jared and I just talking shit together. Biased opinion, yes, but I think it's a lot of fun. So thanks for listening. Go out and inspire someone to do something amazing. Bye.